Questions. Why are the gendarmes stopping almost half the number of migrants from leaving the French beaches than they were this time last year? Why last Friday, 1,072 foreigners departed on illegal small boats were Les cops either nowhere to be seen or just standing there watching while taking photographs on their mobile phones? Is this what we're getting for the £500 million Rishi Sunak handed to Macron 2 years ago? 03444991000. Observers are now questioning not so much the ability of the French police to stop the boats, but their actual willingness to do a single thing about the constant armada en route to the UK. Meanwhile, as they headed out to sea, embarking on the 21-mile cross-channel voyage to the Promised Land, the migrants were laughing about Starmer's one-in, one-out scheme, dismissing the PM's swap a foreigner deal with Macron as no deterrent whatsoever. It clearly isn't, is it? 03444991000. More questions. Why did the Ethiopian asylum seeker who sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl and a woman a week after he arrived at Epping's notorious Bell Hotel only get a 1-year jail sentence? 03444991000. He's been in custody since July, so with that taken into account and good behaviour remission, he's probably set to be released within 6 months, max. May only do 3 or 4 months. And remember, folks, Lucy Connolly got 31 months for posting hurty words on Twitter. In his defence, this Ethiopian guy said that he didn't realise that Britain was so strict about sex attacks. Give me strength. 03444991000. In other news, a blistering speech at the United Nations by Donald Trump, in which he stormed that on his recent trip to Britain he saw that London has changed and is now, to use his words, horrible. Adding that asylum seekers have repaid the UK's kindness with crime and they want Sharia law. Is he right? 03444991000. Plus, as craven Keir Starmer doubles down on recognising Palestine in a transparent bid to retain the Muslim vote, he demands that the so-called Palestinian Authority stops paying rewards for killing Israelis. Shouldn't two-tier have thought about this before giving these people the validation they crave? 03444991000. Also, proving that tone-deaf Starmer is out of step with the vast majority, a new poll reveals that 9 out of 10 Brits do not agree that Palestine should be officially recognised. Do you? 03444991000. And oh, the horror at the Conference of the Damned in Bournemouth as ludicrous Lib Dem leader Sir Ed Davey failed to rule out a potential coalition with Labour after the next election. Big Ed says that a reform government would be a threat to democracy. So Nigel Farage's party winning the most votes at the next election would, according to Big Ed, Sir Ed, be a threat to democracy. No, Ed, that is democracy. What is the point of this ridiculous man? 03444991000. In other news, a new two-tier policing row after a left-wing influencer called on TikTok for right-wingers to be killed. Effing kill them all, she stormed. Kill them all. Why have the cops concluded that no crime was committed when Father Ted writer Graham Linehan was arrested for light-heartedly tweeting that biological males who invade female spaces should be punched in the balls? When Lucy Connolly also went to jail for inciting violence on Twitter. Why has this woman been let off scot-free? Is it just me, or do the Rozzers go easy on left-wingers but come down like a ton of bricks on right-wingers? The woke Rozzers in action, folks. 03444991000. Also later, Elon Musk's father, Errol, responds to shock allegations in the New York Times that he subjected 3 of his children and 2 grandchildren to sexual abuse. The accusations do not include Elon. Naturally, Errol denies these very, very serious allegations. And also, as Brigitte Macron sues over US podcaster Candace Owens' story that she was born a male and offers up photographs as evidence, why doesn't she just take a chromosome test? 03444991000. And finally, more disgrace for Fergie as her shame over those fawning emails to her supreme friend, paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, looks set to get her and Prince Andrew banished from royal life, both publicly and privately. Prince William is urging the King to take decisive action and to exorcise the dreadful couple for the rest of their miserable lives. What do you reckon? 03444991000. All that and so much more, so don't go anywhere. Stick with me right here, right now on Talk, the home of free speech and common sense. Let's spend Tuesday night together. And we had him on for his debut last week, and we were so impressed we couldn't wait to get him back. So a warm return welcome to barrister and commentator Stephen Barrett. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, thank you. That's very kind. I really do appreciate it.
Well, we did enjoy your contribution last week, so you better be up to speed again this week. Seriously, though, let's kick off with a shocking statistic, really, involving the way the police, the French police, are patrolling their beaches. Now, of course, 3 years, in 2023, 2 years ago, Rishi Sunak essentially handed Macron £500 million for the gendarmes to patrol the northern French beaches and to stop as many boats and as many migrants as they could or can from crossing the Channel. Now, here we are 2 years on, and they don't seem to be doing their job very well at all. In fact, it emerges that, the cops in September, in the 4 weeks leading up to September the 7th, they stopped less than a quarter of the small boats heading for Britain, so 3/4 got through. That figure plummeted from 31.9% in July and August, and that is almost half the 46.7% they intercepted last year during July and August. So they're stopping almost half the number of boats than they less than a quarter. Now, last Friday, Stephen, 1,072 migrants came across the Channel, an enormous amount. Now, apparently, as the first boat left in the early hours of the morning, with about 100 migrants on board, there were no cops to be seen. And throughout the day, the best the cops could manage was to stand there taking a few photographs on the beach. Apparently, they had a patrol boat out in the sea, just sitting there watching the Armada departing for Britain, and they had a patrol plane going around in circles above them, just watching. Now, the question's now being asked, it's not so much do these gendarmes have the ability to stop the boats, it's are they even willing to stop the boats? Do they even want to stop the boats? Because it just seems more and more that they're just standing there watching, taking pictures and letting people leave. It's not good enough, is it, for £500 million?
No, and I think Keir Starmer has also given them some extra hundreds of millions of pounds.
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry to interrupt. I think you're right. Actually, if you add it all up, it comes to the best part of £750 million we've given them over the past few years. So we're not getting much value for our money, are we?
No, but I mean, think of it from their point of view. Why on earth would you do anything to stop one of these boats? Why would you? I mean, of course you take the money. That's perfectly logical. I mean, I'm a barrister. And I don't commit. I've never committed or never knowingly committed a crime. So I'm a bit more OCD than most people in not breaking rules. But even I can understand why you would say yes to hundreds of millions of pounds with no intention of necessarily doing the job. It would put them at risk to do anything at all. They have no allegiance to our country in any way. Nationalism, by the way, Kev, is what's going to come back. This is what the idea that actually, do you know what? We're not some kumbaya land of happy clappy people across the world. We are nation states. And really, we should never have outsourced this to a foreign state that has no interest in looking after us, no interest in protecting us. And why would it even bother? It's almost insane to offer money. And just as a warning from history, just as we found out with the Danegeld, and then the Eastern Roman Empire found out with the Arab mercenaries, if you give large amounts of money to foreigners to protect your border, you often get invaded by them. Now, I don't think Macron's going to invade us, but why are we giving away hundreds of millions of pounds for nothing? They were never going to do it, and they're not doing it. This is not a surprise.
Absolutely not. And the Sunday Telegraph, a journalistic team from that paper, were there last Friday, and they were reporting, you know, literally just 3 cops, apparently, as a couple of the boats went, just milling around taking pictures with their mobile phones. A Coast Guard boat sat 50 metres from all the small boats as they left, just watching, and a Coast Guard plane circled above. They just seem to be maintaining a watching brief. They're not actually doing anything. And as I say, alarmingly, this time last year they were stopping almost twice the number of boats they're stopping now, twice the number of migrants. And in the 4 weeks up until September the 7th, they stopped 31.9%, so less than a third, and that now has plummeted in the couple of weeks since September the 7th to less than a quarter. So yes. They're just not doing anything, essentially. They're letting all these people leave unchallenged. And along the way, the journalists from the Sunday Times spoke to some of the migrants. They said, what about the one-in, one-out scheme? And the migrants were just roaring with laughter and just saying, are you kidding? You call that a deterrent? What a load of nonsense. It won't stop. There was a cartoon in one of the papers, I can't remember which paper it was, at the weekend, and it was you know, a couple of migrants standing on the French beach, and one of them saying, I'm not going to risk that crossing. There's a 2 in 33,000 chance that we could be sent straight back. It's sort of, I mean, one in, one out is comically farcical as a deterrent, isn't it?
Yes, and really the lawyers who make up our government know this. And I said last time that either they are just very, very bad lawyers or they are lying. And they really should know that they haven't fixed our legal system, so we can't really do anything. We're never really going to even have, I mean, one in, one out is pathetic on its own merits, but we're never even going to have that, because they will use the legal system here to block the one out, and then we'll keep giving the one in that France will keep flying over to us. So we're literally taking boats and plane loads now.
I know. And one thing I will say, Stephen, that so far this week, I mean, OK, it's early doors, it's only Tuesday, but we haven't heard of any more migrants being returned under the one in, one out, have we? We heard of 3 last week. There were still quite a few challenges going on. 3 came back last week, or were sent back to France this week. We haven't heard of Dicky Bird this week. So I wonder what happened to that scheme.
Well, it's also it must be quite attractive to come here for free, stay in a hotel. I mean, we're going to get on later to the ones who then commit crimes, but you know, have a jolly time, and then be flown home with a bag of cash, because they're often offered about $3,500 to go back. So this really is pathetic. I mean, Mr. Trump, which I think we'll get onto later, but he really has crystallized this. We are acting in an insane way. Why are we doing this?
It is absolutely absurd, and for the life of me, I cannot work out why Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper, previously the Home Secretary, and I presume now Shabana Mahmood, the current Home Secretary, think that one in, one out is in any way a deterrent. It's not. I mean,
they can't. They can't honestly believe that. I just can't. You can't be that dim. You know, you just can't be. We all know this. You know, this is just not, I don't think it's acceptable now. I think they need to be called out to their face by journalists at conferences and just say, you know, you cannot believe that this will work.
Yeah. I mean, at best, what they're saying to the migrants is that out of every 17 of you, we're going to pick 1. and you may well get deported. As we know now, the chances are you won't get deported because your immigration lawyer will successfully challenge that deportation. But if we give the scheme the benefit of the doubt, which it doesn't deserve, the best option, or the chances of a migrant getting sent back, are 1 in 17. That is well worth rolling the dice on, isn't it?
Yes, and these are young men who have rolled the dice far more dangerously. I mean, there have been far more dangerous parts of this journey. If you take one coming from Eritrea, there will have been far more dodgy parts of the journey. There are stories coming out of Libya of massive human rights abuses and even active slavery of some of these people as they pass through. So there are really serious, dangerous spots. The idea that you stand on the shores of France, you can see Dover, and you're slightly worried that the weak, pathetic British government might possibly deport you, when they all know that they won't. They all know, and they're all sharing this on social media. I mean, we are a joke of a nation.
Yeah.
We are, to quote Shakespeare, and this is in Richard III, but we are a queen in jest. You know, where is our majesty? Where is our power? Where is our state? We're a joke.
Yeah, exactly right. And one last point about the gendarme on the gendarmerie on the French beaches, the northern French beaches. What they do is, if they do stop any of the small number of migrants that they do stop, as I say, in the last couple of weeks, less than a quarter. Think about that. 3/4 coming across. The ones that they do stop, they very, very rarely detain them. So they stop them getting on the boat and they go, "You get back to the sand dunes, you." So they just wander back, go back to their camp, regroup, and come back another day. Again, it's farce upon farce.
Well, it is a farce, but Kev, if you and I mean, I'm a dad, and I think if you think about those French policemen as dads, what incentive have they possibly got to keep these dangerous young men near their children and wives? They've got none. And it's okay, the British government has paid you millions of pounds to do this. You're technically employed to do it. Right, yeah, but I've also got kids and a wife, and I want them to be safe. There's simply no incentive on foreign policemen to protect our border. We have to protect our own borders.
Yeah, you're right. These gendarmes, these lazy cops, they couldn't give a damn. You're absolutely right. This is turning into a sick comedy. It really is.